you just got to breathe through it. To all my youngins out there that are dealing with some of the crowd reactions and what they're saying to you, you have to breathe and realize that this is not as hostile as you think it is. Don't overthink it, and been able to work through that and understand that some of that is anxiety, some of that is nervousness, and it can all be turned into a strength.
Feel that energy this Pride Month on Andy Cohen's Kiki Lounge.
Empowering sets from the Kiki Lounge house DJs every night. Long lost vintage Fire Island DJ mixes. It's the Pine Walk Collection. And top it all off with my monthly mixtape. Find it all in the Kiki Lounge, my exclusive SiriusXM music channel. Now for a limited time on Channel 79 and on the SiriusXM app.
Anywhere you take your phone, you can take Howard Stern, NFL Radio, and commercial-free music channels from nearly every genre. Channels vary by subscription plan. You never have to miss your favorite SiriusXM programs or commercial-free music. Find the SiriusXM app in the App Store or call 844-711-8800 or visit SiriusXM.com/app to find out more.
With the SiriusXM Platinum VIP plan, you can unlock the ultimate listening experience in up to 2 cars and stream anywhere with 2 app logins. Enjoy our greatest content, opportunities for live VIP experiences, and prioritized customer care. Plus, get access to over 5,000 audio and video concert recordings through nugs.net. Call 844-711-8800 and become a VIP. Offer details apply. Not available in Canada.
There you go now.
I think I'm recording.
Oh, I see.
If you've been thinking about buying a home, you need to be in the zone, the home buying zone. You need a game plan to win in this great real estate market. The Big C team at Equity Zone Mortgage has all your bases covered. Whether you're a first-time home buyer, purchasing your dream home, refinancing, consolidating debt, or even considering a reverse mortgage, contact the Big C team at Equity Zone Mortgage today. They have the lowest closing costs, and they'll close your loan on time, guaranteed, or they'll pay your first mortgage payment. And they even have a 3.5% purchase down payment grant that can get you into a home with little money out of your pocket. It doesn't get more clutch than that, folks. Score big on the biggest purchase of your life. Call Equity Zone Mortgage today at 1-800-772-8624. That's 1-800-772-8624. Or apply online at equityzonemortgage.com and tell them Big C sent you as heard on the Big C Sports Podcast. License number 018148868.
Rondo Deportes, Bonjour, Vidi Vidi Vici. Let's get ready to rumble. Welcome to the show. My name is Charlton of Big C Sports. This is Big C Sports coming to you worldwide on the Big C Sports Network, on the #1 network in the United States of America. And Big C Sports has been voted the #1 sports show in the universe by me and people who love the universe and reparations, and that would include all of y'all. I said all of y'all on a beautiful June the 6th, 2024. Today's show is sponsored by your Northern California Cadillac dealers, home of the all-new Cadillac Escalade, the standard of the world. When you go by and test drive yours, tell them sit you where the good Lord split you. And hopefully you drive a fleet of Cadillac cars all over the universe. All spread love everywhere. I want to say what a great day. We have NBA basketball. It's fantastic. Boston Celtics seeking championship number 18. Dallas Mavericks seeking championship number 2. Two? I guess that's how you're raised, the great Chris Rock said. I guess that's how you're raised. If you only have 2 championships, they're trying to get the 2. At the same time, I got a bet with my brother, my big brother down south. He says he going for the boys. He says he going for the boys from Texas. I said, Texas? I said, that's the last state to free the slaves. I'm going to go with the good old boys in green because I think with the passing of Bill Walton and also Boston being there studying, Massachusetts studying reparations, I think we're going to get 7 games, maybe 6, but I think Boston's going to have that number 18 banner hanging up. And you know why I believe that? Because the Lakers, they decided to put their hand in the Kool-Aid You ever have somebody put their hand in your Kool-Aid? You ever have one of those refrigerators where it doesn't make automatic ice? And somebody comes by and they put their dirty fingers, get your nasty fingers out that ice! They get in your freezer with those nasty, didn't even wash their nasty hands. Get your nasty hands out that ice, boy! And then they gotta go to the restroom and wash those nasty hands first. Well, the NBA, they're gonna say, take your nasty hands out of that NBA championship, you Texans! That's why I throw that nigga with it. I think there's no way you could have come from the loins of the NBA and deny Boston championship number 18. Not when Bill Walton goes home. It's just, I believe in stuff like that. I do believe in gematria. Gematria? What's gematria, Big C? Google it. It's words, numbers, and signs. It's how a lot of things are put together. But that's my story, and I'm sticking with it. Everybody's a little bit different. I want to say with Big C Sports Podcast, what I love about doing the show is I always, number one, I produce the show. I direct the topics. I broadcast all the shows. I do all the sound effects based on the platform provided by the agency. We could all use more laughter in our lives. I know I can use more laughter in my... Get your nasty hands out the ice, boy! Go wash your hands! That's why they made automatic ice makers. You don't have to put your nasty hands in the ice maker. Dallas, get your nasty cowboy hands off of that trophy! I think that's what they're trying to say in Boston tonight. They know that a lot of Cowboys allegedly don't wash their hands. If that makes sense to you. Oh, it's Fred Leavenworth. And then the commercials are done. The stats provided. The storytelling done. I even do the play-by-play. Jason Tatum for three. Yes! Get the hole in your life. Jaylen Brown for three. Yes! Get the hole in your life. I think we're going to see some great basketball tonight. And I want to see great basketball tonight because I'm one beautiful, intelligent black man. Not only do I want my reparations, I want to see the game tonight. And there's nothing wrong with games. But the real game is reparations. And I hope the NBA at least talks about it the way the great Jaylen Brown talked about it. The show is uploaded to 29 podcast platforms out of New York City. And they're streaming on 4 TV platforms: Xfinity, Comcast TV, Apple TV, Roku TV, and Amazon and Fire TV. And when you love that, you got to give it some praise. I said give it praise, praise, praise. Because we all need somebody to lean on. And it's so nice when somebody's leaning back. I really do appreciate it when somebody's leaning back. I want to also say with Big C Sports Podcast, I'm so honored, and I'm not saying it just to say it, I'm honored to mention the Veterans Crisis Hotline because a mind is a trouble thing to waste, and so is the mind of a veteran. Sometimes people have lost their minds after going to war. Spock, are you out of your fucking mind? We heard that in Star Trek. When Bones told Spock, he says, Spock, are you out of your fucking mind? Well, there's some veterans who are out of their minds. I said Vulcan, if you know Star Trek, don't act like I said something wrong. Spock, are you out of your fucking mind? And that's what I said to my brother when he said Dallas is going to win in 6. I said, big brother, are you out of your fucking mind? And he said, you need to pay homage to your big brother. And I said, I know, but you're still out of your fucking mind. If that makes sense. I think Dallas is in a deep world of trouble, but I think it's going to go 6, maybe 7 games. Dallas may even get a game in Boston. Boston's been known to give up some clam chowder and give up a game at home every now and then. That makes sense to you. Oh my God, I can't wait for the game. I wish people had the same type of anticipation for reparations now, reparations forever, as we do watching the games. Imagine when the world of good people, you people, when we have the same desire to do right as we do to watch the game. A lot of these players already got paid. Now it's time for the Centers of Child Slavery. And for our veterans, their experience helping veterans and their loved ones get help. Call the Veterans Crisis Hotline. You know anybody going through trouble? 800-273-8255. That's 800-273-8255. Or you can text 838-255. That's 838-255. If you're online, simply go to veteranscrisisline.net. That's veteranscrisisline.net. And when you do, you want to give it some praise because we all need somebody to lean on. And it's nice when somebody's leaning back, especially when they trying to help you from losing your organ mind. The great Spock talked about that in Star Trek. If you were stuck in space and had to boldly go where no man had gone before to seek out new civilizations and new adventures, and to boldly go where no man has gone before, you probably lose your organ mind too. Let me let distract. If you had to go to work from 1619 to 1865, and then another 100 years of Jim Crow, you probably lose your Vulcan mind too. I said Vulcan like Star Trek. Don't have no weakness with Big C Sports. I don't use profanity on my show, but other people do, and that's okay. That's their story. They're sticking with it. Sometimes people cuss to get rid of the anxiety in their bodies. Imagine for anybody that says, my goodness, you know how sometimes you're driving along through their hills and the kids saying, are we there yet? Are we there yet? Are we there yet? And the parent turns around and says, kids, are you out of your Vulcan mind? We just left the driveway. No, we're not there yet. Okay, maybe you said the nice way. No, we're not there yet. We're not there yet. No, we're not there yet. Imagine how descendants of child of slavery felt when they have people still saying we need to have a debate on whether are we there yet. We're not there yet. Are you out of your Vulcan mind? What do you mean we're not there yet? Reparations have been passed all over the world. When it comes to descendants of child of slavery, people want to say, oh, are we there yet? Are we there yet? Are we there yet? Are you out of your Vulcan mind? Of course we should be there yet. Because of good people. You know, you people that are going to do the right thing. That's my story. I'm sticking with it. I want to say what I do with Big C Sports Podcast. I love it. I want to say thank you to Xfinity Comcast TV and Comcast Spotlight Effect TV for presenting Big C Sports to the universe. Just like in Genesis 1:3, where God said, are you out of your Vulcan mind? Excuse me, that wasn't God. Some of my pastor friends, they don't like when I misquote God. But God said, reparations now, reparations forever. And then God said, he said, if you don't pass reparations, are you out of your Vulcan mind? Because it's time to. I'm gonna not only get into some NBA basketball today, because I can't wait to see this game, but I have a desire for reparations more than seeing this game. But I want to ask a question for many of our black brethren and black sisters and good white people too. If you had a chance to go see the NBA championship, I go see senators talk about reparations and the passing of a reparations bill, which line would you stand in? And people say, oh, I stand in the reparations line. Big C, are you crazy? Are you out of your Vulcan mind? Of course I stand in the reparation line. Well, because tonight there'll be about 20,000 people at TD Gardens in Boston trying to watch black men play with balls, running up and down the court, just playing with balls. I've been playing with balls my whole life. And sometimes my grandparents say, how long you gonna be in that bathroom, boy? Are you out of your Vulcan mind? You know, how long can a 12-year-old boy use the restroom? But there's a lot of men and women, they'll stand in line for the tip-off, but they won't stand in line to support reparations. I'm not one of them. And that's okay. Either lead, follow, or get out of the way. I don't ask anyone to do for me what I don't do for myself. Sometimes people say, well, y'all need to start doing something better. Y'all need to start covering this stuff more. Well, I am the y'all. And I'm sometimes out of my Vulcan mind. I've been told that by people growing up. I was told many times, boy, you talk too much. You need to think before you speak. I was told that sometimes because I was just start talking about things on my mind, like I do now with my show. I just hope that we can put the same kind of energy in the reparations. And if you don't have the guts, at least support people who do have the guts. Sometimes it's okay to be afraid. It's okay being afraid. I mean, people say, I'm not afraid of nothing. Okay, when I grow up, sometimes we would go hunting. And, you know, sometimes you go hunt for some elk. You go hunting for some pheasant. But when you out hunting, sometimes there's a wolf hunting too. And that same pheasant you trying to get, the wolf trying to sneak up on that same pheasant. I've yet to meet the man. For example, there was a skit in Richard Pryor, and they were out hunting for some deer. And a friend said to Richard Pryor, he said, Richard, did you bring the shotgun? You bring the rifle? And he said, what rifle? Richard said, the rifle I gave you back at the car. He said, well, it's not my rifle. Why you want me to bring the rifle? He said, if you didn't bring the rifle, we in trouble. He said to Richard, well, how you figure we in trouble? It's just a deer. Richard said, I know, but there's a bear behind you. May lightning strike. And his friend said to Richard, well, which way you gonna run? It's a funny skit, but it's true. So when it comes to reparations, and you have senators that are lobbying for us, like Senator Bradford, but you can't wait to stand up for the tip-off. Which way you gonna run? You gonna run this reparations? Because it's in so many hands of power right now. It's happened. It's more real now than it's ever been. in the history of this country since President Lincoln gave reparations to white slaveholders when they freed the slaves. Oh, reparations already been paid. You can Google it. President Andrew Johnson came along and vetoed the bill after Lincoln was assassinated. Give it back to the Southern Confederates. So don't think reparations hasn't already happened. I'm going to get into that too, but I want to just say I really do appreciate things that are going on in the world of Big C Sports. But I gotta say I'm gonna do something that a lot of people don't do, because I know if I don't do it, then it may not get done. But I am the press. Are you depressed, Big C? No, I said the press. Well, sometimes people say I talk too slow, and some people say I talk too fast. No, I'm not depressed. I'm impressed. I'm impressed by so many people who are starting to say they could talk about reparations and chew gum at the same time. And I know because I'm one of them that can do that. And I want to make sure that we have good people, you people, that at least listen to people who have the pen to paper mentality. We can argue and debate, but put pen to paper is important. Yeah, I'm going to get into some NBA basketball too. But before that, I got to do this commercial. It's more like an infomercial, Big C. Okay, some people say infomercial, some people say commercial. But I'm going to do this commercial, and then I'm going to edify the California Reparations Task Force, because there's more and more people doing it. And I know they say a mind is a terrible thing to waste. And I don't want to waste my Vulcan mind. So I got to make sure I talk about reparations. But before that, I want to say I have a guide to protect, preserve, and transfer wealth, RDC Consultant, in conjunction with the law office of Scott Thibodeau and the law office of George Jones, the Missing Link, Long-Term Care, Solutions by the Book, helping seniors get their benefits, Medicare and You, taking care of tomorrow. And in California, it's called Medi-Cal, 3 decades of experience. The stuff was signed into law back in 1966 by President Lyndon B. Johnson. Your family and spouse can avoid the spend down for nursing home costs. Find out your options. Our promise to you is that you won't lose your Vulcan mind. I said Vulcan, like Vulcan. Spock was a Vulcan in Star Trek. Why'd they make the person of color green? They made the Vulcans green because they always like to deal with different colors. Crayons, different colors. But 800-772-8624, 800-772-8624. I promise to you to specialize to navigate and maximize long-term care benefits, protection of your assets. Spend down. Did you say Aflac? No, Aflac's the duck. That's Gap Insurance. A duck cannot protect his own assets. That's why when you walk into a restaurant, you can say, I wanna order the duck. What? Why you guys serve duck? Yeah. How you serve duck? Because they don't learn to protect their assets. RDC team, we help you protect your assets. Without the spend down, all paperwork and communication with all government agencies are handled by a staff of entitlement specialists, ongoing consulting to provide updates as necessary, benefits covering skilled nursing facilities, prescription medications, medical equipment costs, and more. Not only that, have you ever known anybody to deal with medical equipment costs? How about skilled nursing facilities? You ever know anyone to deal with prescriptions? This country is loaded with people taking prescriptions. Protection of your assets, including your home, thereby allowing you to leave a legacy for your family. Avoiding the nightmare of debt brought by the government's estate recovery program called probate. If you don't have a will and a trust, they will take all your assets. As much as you let them. They think you sack. They love the sack look. Sometimes I detest grown men walk around with their assets hanging out because maybe they weren't raised right. When people have a baby, they don't have the baby's diaper sagging down to his knees. But some people become a grown person, and they think it's cool to walk around with their assets hanging out. But if it's a baby, you pull the diaper up on that baby's backside. You don't have your baby's assets hanging out. Great-grandparents saw that. They say, are you out of your Vulcan mind? Pull that diaper up. And then as we get older, we say great-grandma didn't know what she was talking about. Walk around with her assets hanging out. Well, that's how the court looks at you when you don't have a will and trust coming in a probate. We help you avoid that problem. A one-time processing fee versus monthly insurance premiums for the rest of your life. I'm not done yet. Not only that, I said not only that, and I'm not done yet. I said I'm not done yet. Asset protection in conjunction with the law office of Scott Thibodeau and the law office of George Jones. Protection Insurance coverage required by a law, general liability, workers' compensation, lawyers specializing in living trust, Medicaid or Medi-Cal, planning for long-term care, avoid probate, life insurance, veterans benefits, aid and attendance. What about your fixed assets, Big C? I'm glad you asked. Your bank account, checking account, savings account, money market account, certificates of deposit, life insurance with cash values, fixed index annuities. That's important. We have pre-planning and avoid the look back with your aid and attendance. How about variable assets, Big C? Well, I'm glad you asked about the variable assets because we got that under too. Real estate, qualified money, IRAs, 401ks, other investments. Avoid capital gains. For example, you buy a house for $100,000. Are you out of your fucking mind? $100,000. It might need a lot of repairs, but you got to listen to what real estate brokers are saying nowadays. In 1 year, that house may appreciate to $1 million. That's a $900,000 capital gains. If you have your property in a trust, you avoid that. You can avoid that. Not only that, because some brokers say what they got to say to make the sale. Attention business owners, find out your other options to protect what your insurance does not cover. 800-772-8624. 800-772-8624. The 800-772-8624. And give that some praise. I say give it praise, because we all need somebody to lean on. Oh, Big C, my insurance covers everything. Your insurance covers everything? Are you out of your fucking mind? California is known as a state where they say it's a desert. It's dry out here. So we rarely have floods. In fact, we rarely have rain. But every now and then we get a little flood come through and it washes away property. And people say, well, they call the insurance man. They say, Mr. Insurance Man, my house was washed away by a flood. And the insurance man said, oh, okay, well, let me see your insurance policy because we want to see if we can protect your assets. And they asked that insurance person that thinks their insurance covers everything, do you have flood insurance? The homeowner says, I have insurance. The insurance says, yeah, but do you have flood insurance? And they look over the fine print and says, well, we can't help you fix your house because you do not have flood insurance. And the homeowner says, insurance broker, are you out of your fucking mind? I've been paying, never missed a payment. And that broker said, yeah, but you don't have flood insurance. All we need is a copy of your declaration page to get you some help. 800-772-8624. 800-772-8624. When you do, you want to give us some praise because we all need somebody to lean on, especially when somebody's leaning back. And I want to help lean back with Big C Sports Podcast. Before I get into some sports, I want you to hear something that's so important because I want to tell you, a mind is a sharper thing than waste. And that's why I love paying homage to the California Reparations Task Force. But when I tell you about the RDC team, we come with great endorsements, and that's why it's important to ask anyone that wants to do business with you, who's already done business with them. Are they endorsed by anybody? I know you want to see the game, and I'm going to tell you about the game too. But our endorsements are clear, and they're powerful. We have the endorsement of Mr. George Jones. He's the chairman of the California Black Chamber of Commerce, also California Black Chamber of Commerce Foundation. We have the endorsement of Attorney Scott Thibodeau, one of the top estate planners in Northern California. We have the endorsement of Mr. Leon Woods, a resource development consultant, works with many of the top lobbyists in California. That's important. We have the endorsement of Miss Cheryl Brown. She's the chair of the California Commission on Aging. That's important. We have Mr. Ray De La Cruz, CEO of Resource Development Consultant, had the endorsement of the late CalPERS chief legal mind, the late Robert Carlson. We have Mr. Alex De La Cruz, the founder of American Veteran Benefits. That's important because when people endorse you, they put their word behind you. I love saying that. And we do that. We also have the endorsement of Charlton Curry, co-chair of the National Black Wall Street Project, also consultant for RDC Consulting, and owner of Big C Sports Podcast. Not only that, we have the endorsement of Double O, part of the PAC committee for the National Black Wall Street Project, also consultant with RDC, has her own economics awareness talk show called Let's Eat. You can hear it on Access in Sacramento. She does a great job, and you can do a great job too. And that's why I say the endorsements are important. So now, before I get into some sports, because I know you want to know who won the game, I'm going to get into that too. But I wish they put the same type of focus on reparations as they do in just standing up for the tip-off. That's my story, and I'm sticking with it. I got to say, it's important to me. It should be important to you too. I want to give some praise to One Gong Show, the great Tim and Marvell. They do it Monday through Friday at 9 o'clock to 11 o'clock. a.m. Pacific Standard Time, and it talks about reparations and other things that are going on in people's lives too. I want to make sure that I give them their praise because they deserve praise. I love giving that praise. We got a lot of people that do things. I want to give praise out to Brother Alim Shabazz. He's co-chair of the National Black Wall Street Project, also owner of President Sports Media. And we talk about a lot of things that we want to do for our people, making sure we get reparations out there at the top of the mind as we want to stand up for the tip-off. But I want to say, I think I'm one of the only sports shows in the universe that pays homage to the California Reparations Task Force, because I know our mind is a terrible thing to waste, and we don't want to waste our Vulcan mind! Like Spock in the great Star Trek did not want to waste his mind. I want to give praise to Secretary of State Shirley Weber. As Double R reminded me, she's the one that helped put the task force together with Governor Gavin Newsom. I love giving her praise. That's important. I love giving her praise. I want to give praise to our attorney, Camila Moore. She's brilliant. I love giving her praise. I want to give praise to Dr. Amy C. Brown, the vice chair. He's brilliant. I love giving him praise. I want to give praise to California Senator Stephen Bradford. He's brilliant. I love giving him praise. He also got Senate bills passed, 1304, 1331, and Senate Bill 1050. Really do appreciate him. Love giving him praise. I want to give praise to some more task force members. Councilwoman Monica Montgomery Stepp, she's brilliant. Love giving her praise. I want to give praise to Assembly Member Reginald Sawyer. He's brilliant. I love giving him praise. I want to give praise to Dr. Shell Grill. She's brilliant. I love giving her praise. I want to give praise to Attorney Lisa Holder. She's brilliant. I love giving her praise. I want to give praise to Dr. Javon Scott Lewis, professor at California Berkeley. He's brilliant. I love giving him praise. I want to give praise to Attorney Donald K. Tamaki. He's brilliant. I love giving him praise. Give him all praise. You can give him all praise too, because we all deserve praise. If you're doing the right thing, and everybody wants to do the right thing, give it all praise. I want to lead into something before I get into some NBA basketball tonight, because it's a big game. Boston and Dallas. A lot of people can't wait to see it. But I want to play something to you that you need to know when I talk about reparations. Before I get into the game, just listen with your own eyes and ears.
About handouts and how these right-wing memes, these Republican memes, have infiltrated the Democratic debate to suggest that, ending welfare as we know it, all those kind of things are somehow, great and noble things, when we're not dealing with the underlying problem, which is that there's no economic opportunity there because of insane trade policies and because of Reaganomics. And Martin Luther King spoke to this. Jim and Shane, this is clip number 4. Martin Luther King spoke to this sometime back in the early 60s. And I thought this was a really interesting quote. Here he is.
At the very same time that America refused to give the Negro any land, through an act of Congress, our government was giving away millions of acres of land in the West and the Midwest, which meant that it was willing to undergird its white peasants from Europe with an economic floor. But not only did they give the land, they built land-grant colleges with government money to teach them how to farm. Not only that, they provided county agents to further their expertise in farming. Not only that, they provided low interest rates in order that they could mechanize their farms. Not only that, today many of these people are receiving millions of dollars in federal subsidies not to farm, and they are the very people telling the black man that he ought to lift himself by his own bootstraps. This is what we are faced with, and this is a reality. Now, when we come to Washington, in this campaign, we are coming to get our check.
From his speech, The Two Nations of Black America, and it's absolutely brilliant. And the next time some white person talks about, well, I pulled myself up by my bootstraps and my family did too, especially the Bundy boys. I mean, here's Martin Luther King, the Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., talking about how basically whites stole the West from the Indians with the complete, and didn't just steal it. I mean, murdered them he murdered the Indians in the process, and did not give any of these benefits to African Americans for 100 years. in this country. You know, it's a strong case for reparations or some variation on it, for rebuilding our cities, for doing right after having done wrong for so many centuries. It is a very, very strong case for that.
In your life, reparations now, reparations forever. Reparations forever. I know you can't wait to stand up for the tip-off, and I can't wait to see it too, but I'm telling you, we can do more than one thing, because no matter who wins this championship tonight, the Boston Celtics and the Dallas Mavericks, they get 7 possible games, and we know they take it one game at a time, and no matter who wins, it's not going to put money in our pocket unless you're a gambler, 800 gambler. I don't believe in gambling, because when you gamble, you lose a lot of what you're trying to get, which is money. The casinos don't exist by paying out a lot of money. They exist by you taking money out of your wallet or out of your credit card and say, "Are you out of your fucking mind?" You know, there's a story where sometimes you have people that get together and somebody says, "I think I'm going to go to the casinos and I'm going to win some money," and they lose all their money. They come back and explain what happened. They say, "Are you out of your fucking mind?" Yeah, 800 gambler, if you're out of your fucking mind, if that makes sense to you. Tell the California Assembly Judiciary Committee to vote yes on Senate Bill 1403. Vote yes on Senate Bill 1331. And vote yes on Senate Bill 1050. Don't be out of your fucking mind. Vote yes. That's my story. I love telling you that. It's important. It's important. It's out there for us all to take our head out of the sand and just get prepared for things that are coming. After more than 70% of the California State Senate recently voted in favor of reparations-related bills, Senate Bill 1403, Senate Bill 1331, and Senate Bill 1050. Both of these historic bills are now in the State Assembly. They will be heard by the Assembly Judiciary Committee on Tuesday, June 11th. Will more people be in that than they are watching the game tonight? I wonder, will more people be at that meeting than there are watching the game tonight? We will see. Because I'm telling you, it's June 11th. That's Tuesday, 9 o'clock a.m. Got to be there at the state capitol. We got to be there. And from what I hear, it is room 437. Room 437. And Senate Bill 1403 creates an agency to verify eligibility and implement reparations. That's important that we hear that. And then, not only that, as the great Dr. King said, not only that, we have Senate Bill 1331 creates a reparation fund in the state treasury to facilitate funding for reparations. And each of these measures, you got to understand, was recommended by California's first in the nation reparations task force. And together, not only do these bills lay the groundwork for full reparations and repair, but they represent the first bills in California history specifically targeting residents who descend from people who were enslaved in the United States. Are you out of your fucking mind if you don't believe in reparations? Come on, Congress, pay attention. We're closer to reparations than ever in this country, and you got to understand that. Help us take the next step forward for full repair and a better future. Take a minute to contact the Assembly Judiciary Committee and tell them vote yes on Senate Bill 1403, Senate Bill 1331, and Senate Bill 1050. That's sponsored by a Coalition for Just and Equitable California. CJ, give that some praise. I say give it praise, praise, praise. I say give it praise, praise, praise. I love talking about these things. I don't want to just be somebody standing up for the tip-off. Well, that's my story, and I'm sticking with it. Now, Big C, can you tell me about the game? I will tell you about the game. There's something that I wanted to get into that's more important than the game, and I'm going to try to play just a little bit of it because we can all watch. ESPN's going to show highlights of the game. I'm trying to get ESPN to show highlights on reparations. Which one you think they're going to show highlights of? Oh, they love beautiful black bodies running up and down the court. But when they talk about reparations on ESPN, how about Fox Sports? How about CBS Sports? How about NBC Sports? How about the NFL Network? Because they already got their money. Not one owner that's a descendant of child slavery owns an NBA team. Not one! And don't say Michael Jordan, he's not a complete owner of his franchise. Not one descendant of child slavery owns an NFL football team. Not one. Magic Johnson, he's on a percentage, a small minority holder of the Washington Commanders. God, I want to tell you this so bad. I'm going to let you take your foot off the gas just for a little bit because I want you to hear this. This is so powerful. This thing that I'm going to let you hear. Tell me what you think.
Tatum trying to get free. Throwing in the corner. Brown fakes, fires up the three.
Because then you're a little bit late to close. Still a contest, JJ. And he's actually well positioned. Incredible shot making by Jaylen Brown.
And with the separation that was created initially on that screen, Siakam wasn't in position to make the quick foul. Sidestep, three-pointer, puts it up. Bang!
LeBron James.
That's something that the Celtic coaching staff talked to the referees about at halftime. Jaylen Brown with the finish. 21 points. Tatum and Antetokounmpo, the superstar, step back three on the way. Oh, it banks in. Jason Tatum puts Boston on top with a window three.
Indiana getting ready for their game, warming up. They pulled them off the court essentially.
Throws it down. Put him in the spin cycle.
In your life, get the hole, yes! Now, I know a lot of NBA players, they talk about reparations behind the scene, and we can't wait to stand up for the tip-off. And I'm going to give you a little bit more highlights. I've done the Boston Celtics, now I'm going to bring you something from Dallas, because I believe in equality. I believe in all sides having equality, and I want you to get some equality when you hear Dallas and Boston.
Real agility out of the big foul in this series. Doncic three, that's way over, and Edwards. Edwards gets it to go. One shot, another one. Oh, wow, that's two back-to-back, basically 30-footers, Coach.
Yeah, and that's his spot over here on that left wing. Kyrie Irving's had two shots, Reg, and hasn't been able to get either one of them to the rim.
Doncic back-footer and a 16-footer, and he is red hot to begin things.
Luka Doncic, we've seen this a lot. Great ball pressure. Just watch him decelerate and stop the space he creates, Reg.
Second personal foul. Doncic creeping his way inside with an easy shot. 5 of 5. He is flowing. But since then, has been fantastic. Quick shot by Kyrie Irving is pure. After struggling the other night, Doncic leaving, sidestepping, and the rifle is up high to slam it home. Assisting, saving, and Doncic has it with a lively screen, tailed by Anderson. Doncic by 8, and now by 6.
And you're right, Coach. He normally doesn't like to do the step back to his right.
14 for Luka on the walkout.
In your life, get the hole! Oh, that's good. I love NBA basketball. In your life, get the hole! I love NBA basketball. All fair and love and war. Can't wait for the game tonight. And I know a lot of people have their own thoughts about who's going to win this NBA championship. And I think I got a clue for you. I'm going to tell you, I guarantee the team that wins will be the team that scores the most points. I really do believe the team that wins will be the team that scores the most points. And no matter who wins tonight, I think I got Boston winning their 18th NBA championship. I've said it wide. I talked to my brother about it, and we have our own opinion. 17 championships, and then the Lakers try to steal the thunder by talking about hiring of a coach that won a college national championship. The hiring, I mean, whether they bring him on or not, I'm not gonna. Danny Hurley, I wish him the very best. Built UConn into a great program, but we will see. There's something about the Dallas Mavericks and the Boston Celtics that should, in my mind, take center stage. But you got to give it to the Lakers. The Lakers decided they're going to find a way to get mentioned in the NBA Finals, not by winning, not by the game, but by mentioning Coach Hurley if they bring him over. But I got my own thoughts about sports, and I got my own thoughts about it too. But I tell you, no matter who wins the NBA Finals, I love the fact that we're here, and now we get to decide, or the players get to decide, who's going to cut down the net, if that makes sense to you. The Dallas Mavericks, they march into TD Garden to square off against the Boston Celtics for Game 1 of the 2024 NBA Finals. The game at TD Gardens. Anything's possible! The great Kevin Garnett said that the last time Dallas won an NBA championship. Dallas is going 32-18 on the road the entire season. Meanwhile, the good boys from Boston, they're 43-6 on his home court. The Mavericks entered Game 1 full of confidence and full of a lot of other things, like some clam chowder. They love clam chowder and barbecue down in Texas. But I'm telling you, they have a lot of confidence tonight with the great Luka Doncic and the great Kyrie Irving winning 6 of their last 7 games. The Boston Celtics have won 7 consecutive games. Consecutive games. When you get 7 consecutive games, that's a lot. And the Celtics have won 7 consecutive games, and they're 8-0 in their past 8 meetings against an opponent from the Western Conference. Tip-off already happened at 8:30 p.m. East Coast time, 5:30 p.m. here on the West Coast. It's the latest Mavericks versus Celtics odds. Sportsline, they have a Boston as a 6.5 point favorite. That's a lot. When you see how Kyrie can play and Luka can play, 6.5 is a lot. I know they're at TD Gardens, but that's a lot for both teams that are rested. While the over-under for the total points scored is 216.5. So when you think about the betting angle, you just gotta figure these teams are going to score, and I don't think it's going to be a runaway win by any team. It may come down to the last possession, if that makes sense to you, because they're so evenly matched. Well, that's my story, and I'm sticking with it. When you think about some of the models out there for the NBA Finals, it's set that the Celtics versus the Mavs is just locked in its picks at the NBA Final prediction. In my own opinion, with Big C Sports Podcast, and I was talking to my brother about it earlier today, unfortunately, we had the great Bill Walton passed away just last week, and now you have the Boston Celtics. Bill Walton played for the Boston Celtics, and now they're going for championship number 18. Even if they fall tonight, there's a lot of pressure in Boston. I was talking to Marcellus Brown, the father of Jaylen Brown, yesterday on the Big C Sports Podcast. There's a lot of pressure when you wear that green jersey in Boston, but I'm telling you, there's some things about this game tonight why the Mavericks can cover. The great guard Kyrie Irving, he's going to be locked in this series against the former team. And the great Kyrie is a sound floor manager, a lot like Curly Neal for the Harlem Globetrotters, who has the firepower to get a bucket any spot on the floor. In the 2024 NBA playoffs, Kyrie is averaging 23 points, 4 rebounds, and 5 assists per game. In Game 5 win over Minnesota, he dropped 36 points. Miladin strike! They said, Kyrie, are the audio Morgan mine? Dropping it from all over the place, and I think he's going to drop some points. He'll probably get at least 28 points tonight at TD Garden in Boston. That's my opinion. We got center Derek Lovely. The second has provided Dallas with an athletic force in the front court, and he sets stout screens, and he scores high for alley-oops and high percentage shots in the lane. The Duke product is coming off an exceptional series against Minnesota. He's put up 9.5 points, 7.8 rebounds, and about 2 blocks per game in the Western Conference. And that's my story, and I'm sticking with it. Curry, are the audio Morgan mine? Do I really think they could go in and beat Boston in Game 1 at TD Gardens? What did Kevin Garnett say back in the day? He said, anything's possible! anything is possible. Now, on the other hand, why the Celtics uncovered? They've been rested. It's the biggest advantage they have in multiple shot creators and proven playmakers. They're first among playoff teams in three-pointers. They made 14 in three-point percentage. Think about it. 14 that's what they're averaging. Three-point percentage, they're shooting 40%. The Celtics also have 4 players averaging double digits per game. In the postseason, that's a lot. You have superstar Jason Tatum for 3. Get the hole. Yes! In your life. The Boston Celtics have that great Jason Tatum, and he's got a lot of pressure on him, but he's not going to do it on his own. Has a variety of moves, including the reliable jumper from the perimeter and the Duke product. He heads into the 2024 NBA Finals. He's playing some really good basketball. He's very reliable, and he's doing great right now in the Eastern Conference Finals. Against Indiana, the great Jason Tatum dropped 30 points, 10.3 rebounds, and 6 assists. And not only that, 1.3 steals per game. On May 25th, he dropped 36 points, had 10 boards and 8 dimes, and made 5 3-point plays. That good old boy can do his thing. He recorded 30-plus points 4 times in the 2024 NBA playoffs. And I'm telling you, this game is up for grabs. It doesn't matter who you like. I like seeing great basketball, how to make the Mavericks and Celtics picks. Now, Sportsline, they have a model, is leaning over the total projected at 220 combined points. The model also says one side of the spread hits well over 50% of the time. And you can think about it. I don't bet on Sports 800 Gambler. I like keeping my money in my wallet. That's my story, and I'm sticking with it. So no matter who you go with, whether it's Boston or whether it's Dallas, you're set to see some really good NBA basketball. And this is why people love the game. I know NHL hockey's doing its thing with Edmonton and also Florida, but I love NBA basketball. There's really nothing like it. And I want to just take some time to look at the Dallas Mavericks and their history in trying to win NBA championship. They've only won 1. And if you think about the Celtics, the last time they were in, they got knocked out in 6 games by the Golden State Warriors. It was like, Warriors, come out and play! And trying to guard Steph Curry. It was like, Celtics, are the audio volume mine? They tried to put a body on Steph Curry. They couldn't do it. And that's why, in my opinion, the Splash Brothers knocked them out. Now, the Dallas Mavericks, American professional basketball team based in Dallas, Texas, that plays in the National Basketball Association, NBA. The Mavericks have won only 1 NBA championship, and that was in 2011. And they were founded in 1980, and like most expansion teams, they struggled in their first seasons. In the NBA, the Dallas Mavericks, they posted his first winning season and gained a playoff berth in his 4th year behind young stars Mark Aguirre, Derek Harper, and Rolando Blackman. The team continued to infuse its roster with talent throughout the savvy draft choices in the mid-1980s, and the Mavericks qualified for the postseason in 5 consecutive years from 1983-84, 1987-88 season, which included a berth in the Western Conference Finals in 1988. By 1990, many of the team's stars had left Dallas, either by free agency or by trades. No matter what you think, the team that finished with a losing record each year of the following decade, including back-to-back woeful seasons, 11-71 and 13-69. Well, fast forward to 2024, and they found themselves in the NBA Finals. The Mavericks turnaround began with the arrival of point guard Steve Nash and the great Dirk Nowitzki for 3. Yes, get the hole in your life. Before the 1998 season, 1999 season, the 2000 internet entrepreneur, the great Mark Cuban, he bought the franchise and initiated a new era of free spending for the Dallas Mavericks. Cuban, one of the league's most flamboyant and outspoken owners, upgraded the team's facilities and made Dallas in Texas an attractive location for free agents for the first time in years. And then that great head coach and general manager Don Nelson, he oversaw the acquisition of some great players, and history is history. But I want to tell you now, you have a new kid in town, and his name is Jason Kidd, and he's led the Dallas Mavericks to the NBA championship in 2024. And will they win it? It's a miss and make league. If they get it, may lightning strike! I wish Dallas nothing but the best in trying to win an NBA championship. And now, from TD Garden, the Boston Celtics! 17-time NBA World Champions. I'm telling you, Havlicek inbounds to Russell. Russell throws over to Danny Ainge. Danny Ainge over to Larry Bird. Larry Bird to Jason Tatum. Jason Tatum to Jaylen Brown. Jaylen Brown for three. Yes! Get the hole in your life. I'm telling you, when you play the Boston Celtics, they have a mantra that's called anything's possible. The great Kevin Garnett said that. They have 17 NBA championships. The Boston Celtics, they are back in the 2024 NBA Finals for the 23rd time, and they're looking to claim their 18th World Championship, which will break a tie with the Los Angeles Lakers that are trying to get Hurley to join the purple and gold in Los Angeles. But that would put Boston on top for the most in NBA basketball history, and it just seems like it might be the right time for them to get it. Now, if they lose, I don't see them losing to a team that's only been to the finals once, and that's the Dallas Mavericks. It's a different year in Dallas. They had success down in Texas. The Raiders winning the World Series last year, and now you got, of course, the Cowboys made the playoffs, but they didn't get too far. At the same time, you got the Dallas Mavericks, but they're taking on Boston. Boston's been there a lot. The Celtics prepare for Game 1 against Dallas, and they're taking a look back at the 17 NBA Finals, and there's a lot of pressure. There's a lot of pressure when you have that many championships. 1957 NBA Finals. Boston won its first NBA championship in 1957. They defeated the St. Louis Hawks. And not only that, you got to realize they didn't stop there. In 1959, they won another NBA Finals. And they wound up losing in the NBA Finals rematch with the Hawks and future Hall of Famer Bob Pettit. So they've been there many, many times. 1960, they were also in the NBA Finals. They played and defeated St. Louis in 7 games. 1961, also in the NBA Finals. You can go down the line at the Boston Celtics. They've been there so many times. They defeated the Hawks in the NBA Finals. And then you got to say not only that, 1962. What were you doing in 1962? Well, Boston was saying, in your life, anything's possible! They won their 4th straight NBA title that year, and they defeated the great Elgin Baylor and Jerry West of the Los Angeles Lakers, all fair in love and war. And not only that, in 1963, the Boston Celtics kept rolling. They defeated the Lakers again. Not only that, 1964, a great year it was. The Boston Celtics, again, the great Johnny Most, they defeated the Los Angeles Lakers again. And not only that, I'm telling you, in 1964, the Celtics defeated the San Francisco Warriors in 5 games to claim their 6th consecutive title. Not only that, 1965, the Celtics won again the 7th championship over the LA Lakers. Not only that, 1966, the Celtics and the Lakers, they did their thing again. And as you know, for the 2nd straight year, the title was the last that Tommy Howson won as he played for the Boston Celtics. There's something else that I love. You can go down the line. It's hard to get the 17 championships, but they did it. They just keep winning and winning and winning. I know people say at the old Boston Garden, they had that parquet floor and things, the ball didn't always bounce right. But some of the greatest finals, 1984, the NBA Finals, after the Celtics missed out in the NBA Finals, you got to realize what happened. You got a guy by the name of Irvin Magic Johnson. And 2 years in a row, out of the NBA Finals, 2 years in a row, Bill Fitch had resigned as head coach due to frustration with the ownership, the great Red Auerbach. And promoted assistant coach Casey Jones, an 8-time champion with the Celtics as a player. At the same time, you had great players. Johnson, he joined the Boston team that still featured the great Larry Bird, the great Cedric Maxwell, the great Kevin McHale. And they had to play the good boys from the West Coast, and Kareem Abdul-Jabbar and the Irvin Magic Johnson, all fair and love and war. Bird was named 83-84 NBA MVP. McHale earned 6th Man of the Year, coming off the bench. But it's showtime! And Magic Johnson and Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. The Celtics wound up clinching the title in a Game 7 win at Boston Garden, marking the first time the Celtics won the championship on their home court since 1966. Bird was named the NBA MVP, the Finals MVP, all fair and level war. We know in LA felt like we were robbed. They felt like they were robbed because sometimes that happens when you go back to Boston. They're not only shaking the bus, but there's a lot of times you couldn't get out of Boston without that bus being shaken. And that's that Celtic magic that they tend to have. And I know you got to realize when you play a team like Boston, their last championship, they had the great Kevin Garnett that said, anything's possible! And they had Rajon Rondo, they have Paul Pierce. But those guys are retired now. They're on their own. The Celtics reached the 2008 finals, and they would be matched against the great Kobe Bryant and the LA Lakers. We know that Boston got that done because, as many people in LA feel, they thought they were at a slow dance. They were being held so much in the paint. But now, you can't make excuses. The last time the Celtics got there, they got knocked out by the Golden State Warriors. Come out and play! It was the great Steph Curry, the great Draymond Green, and the great Klay Thompson. And now they realize it's easier to win in the media than it is to win on the court. Well, that's my story, and I'm sticking with it. No matter who wins tonight, I just want to see good basketball. It's Boston, it's Dallas, it's Texas versus Massachusetts. No matter who wins, I hope they champion reparations now, reparations forever. That's my story, and I'm sticking with it. I gotta tell you that. You gotta stick with it. I always believe in letting the teams play. May the best team win, and I just hope I see good basketball. Everybody has their own opinion. Eastern Conference, Western Conference, reparations now, reparations forever. It will stimulate the economy. And I hope you believe in that too, because I do. I've talked about the reparations task force in California, in New York State. Governor Kathy Hochul, they're copying California style, and they're getting ready for their own reparations task force. I think they had their first hearing today. We know the Assembly in California, they're going to get together in June 11th on a Tuesday, 9 o'clock a.m., room 437 at the state capitol. And I believe they're going to have an approval on through the California State Assembly for reparations. Well, that's my story, and I'm sticking with it. As I always tell you on every Big C Sports podcast, tell a friend, if you're going to drink, don't drive. If you're going to drive, don't drink. Because mothers against drunk drivers are mad, and fathers against drunk drivers are mad. It's one of the easiest things not to do. You can call Uber, you can call Lyft, you can walk it off, you can sleep it off. But don't let someone you love get behind the wheel of a car, start driving after they've been drinking. The life you save may be your own, or someone that you love, or someone that somebody else loves. That's my story, and I'm sticking with it. As I always tell you on every Big C Sports podcast, I love paying homage to my beautiful family legacy. On my beautiful mother's side, my great-grandparents called them Mama and Pop. My grandparents called them Muddy and Hezekiah. And I could always depend on my mama, the most beautiful mama in the history of the universe. Started a Head Start program, a food program, and also coaching all boys in Little League baseball team to the championship of the universe. Always saying rise and shine, the best person I ever met in my life. And then on my father's side, my grandparents, Albert Curry and Alberta Curry, they owned 3 churches. They were pastors, and they also owned 2 gas stations in Oakland. I was 8 years old walking through a hallway at 10 o'clock at night. I felt somebody touch me in my forehead, and she said, "What are you doing, young man? Going to get some more cookies?" I said, "Well, what are you doing, Grandma? It's 10 o'clock at night. You normally go to bed at 8:30. She said, "What are you doing, young man? Going to get some more cookies?" I said, "Cookies and baby crap, what I'm doing, Grandma. I'm going to get my reparations." But some cookies wouldn't hurt. It's been a long time. She said there's something about your voice. I love hearing you speak. I love my grandparents with all my heart, mind, body, and soul. My beautiful father, former United States Air Force fighter pilot, chief mechanic, always making sure airplanes can fly high. So we can all stay safe at night. Always saying develop your mind to its highest extent. Love my dad with all my heart, mind, body, and soul. My beautiful brother Todd with that bombastic voice, sound like thunder and lightning. When Todd would speak, always saying go forward. A voracious reader, love Todd with all my heart, mind, body, and soul. My beautiful daughter Daisy, the most beautiful daughter in the history of the universe. College graduate, 2 degrees with honors, and 3.5 years from a major university. You can be anything you want to be, Daisy. She set up the very first interview for Big C Sports Podcast back at Salem Media. It became the first time in the history of the United States that NFL Monday Night Football started broadcasting live on the Wall Street Business Network. But normally they would go to ESPN, but because of 2 black men in the crew, they started doing their thing on the Wall Street Business Network. Daisy, I love you with all my heart, mind, body, and soul. Always trust God, Isaiah 54:17, that no weapon formed against you will prosper. You can be anything you want to be. And then my beautiful, handsome son, Malcolm, the most handsome son in the history of the universe. College graduate, very smart, erudite, a good man. Malcolm helped me save trees. I used to always get the newspapers to look up stats for a Big C Sports Podcast. One day, Malcolm said, "Dad, why don't you just Google it?" And a light bulb went off. I've been Googling ever since. Now on 29 podcast platforms, streaming on 4 TV platforms. Malcolm, you can be anything you want to be. Always trust God, Isaiah 54:17, that no weapon formed against you will prosper. Malcolm one day said, "Dad, you want to see Big C Sports on TV?" I said, "Sure." He said, "Pick up the remote, aim it at the TV, and say Big C Sports." you'll see your show come up. That's before it was even on the air. And now streaming on Xfinity, Comcast TV, Apple TV, Roku TV, and Amazon Fire TV. Malcolm, I love you, brother. All my heart, mind, body, and soul. You can be anything you want to be. Always trust God. You can be anything you want to. Then Big C, with all that wealth and knowledge over the years, always saying you got to believe, you got to believe, you got to believe. Let's get ready to rumble. I love to say welcome to the show. SB nominated Big C Sports Podcast. I have no scripts. I have no cerebral teleprompters. All I have is that gland in the brain called the pineal gland. The ancients called it the third eye. They say that's how you talk to God. When I was a kid and I screamed real loud in a microphone, people say, Big C, are the audio bugging mine? I said, no, I'm just trying to talk to God. And I suggest you try it too if that makes sense to you. I love saying, I love doing Big C Sports Podcast. As I always tell you, there's never ever an excuse for racism or domestic violence. No man, woman, or child should ever have to go through that crap on their own. If somebody's slapping you, I only slapped you because you made me mad. Call 911. If somebody's kicking you, I only kicked you because you made me mad. Call 911. If somebody's choking you out, I only choked you because you made me mad. Call 911. No man, woman, or child should ever have to go through that crap. That's my story, and I'm sticking with it. Well, as we always know, back by popular demand. Back in the day, there's a man known by the name of Drew Boudini Brown. He's known as Muhammad Ali's right-hand man. He would always tell Ali, he said, you float like a butterfly and you sting like a bee. Rumble, young man, rumble. He said, with all you got to use, how can you lose? Ali said, I'm so pretty, I can't possibly be beat. And every time I listen to Big C Sports, I want a champion. Reparations now, reparations forever. And then I float like a butterfly and I sting like a bee. There was no fighter greater than Muhammad Ali. And now we come to the crescendo. What should President Biden do to executive order? Lincoln already did it. He should sign reparations now. Reparations forever. Say it like your heart, mind, body, and soul believes in it. You cheer it louder for a horse at the Kentucky Derby. Champion reparations now. Reparations forever. Come on, let's say it like you're going to cheer when somebody hits a three. Reparations now. Reparations forever. I thank you. I appreciate you. And I hope that you have a super fantastic day. Get the hole in your life. Reparations for three.